Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to be one step ahead? Why they grow, evolve, and succeed faster than others, while many stay stuck in the same place year after year? It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not even just intelligence. It's education. Not formal education only, but self-education. A daily habit of learning, growing, and pushing your mind forward. Most people stop learning after school. They finish high school, maybe college, and then they stop. They go to work, come home, watch TV, scroll through their phones, and repeat. Day after day, month after month, year after year. But the truth is, if you want to grow, if you want to succeed, if you want to stay ahead of 99% of people, you must educate yourself every single day. This is your secret weapon. This is your edge. And the best part? It's free. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, where you come from, or what your background is. If you have a phone, a book, or the internet, you have the power to learn something every single day, and that changes everything. Chapter 1. Why most people stay behind. Let's be honest, the world is moving faster than ever before. Technology is changing everything. How we work, how we think, how we communicate, and even how we live our daily lives. Entire industries rise and fall in just a few years. Skills that were valuable 5 years ago are now outdated. What was once considered good enough is no longer enough. And in this fast-moving world, if you are not growing, you are falling behind. But here's the strange part. Most people don't want to admit this. In fact, many people don't even notice it happening. Most people live life on autopilot. That means they go through the same motions every day without thinking. They wake up at the same time, eat the same breakfast, drive the same route to work, do the same job, talk to the same people, scroll through the same social media, watch the same shows, and repeat. Day after day, month after month, year after year. It becomes a cycle of repetition without progress. There is no change because there is no learning. There is no growth because there is no challenge. And slowly, their mind becomes weaker, not because they are not capable, but because they are not using it. Many people stop being curious after they leave school. They stop asking questions. They stop reading books. They stop thinking deeply. They stop listening to new ideas. They stop exploring new subjects. It's as if their desire to learn slowly dies, and they become trapped in a small, predictable world. And then they wonder why nothing changes in their life. They wonder why they don't feel excited anymore. They wonder why they feel stuck. But the answer is simple. They stopped feeding their mind. Here's a powerful truth. If you're not feeding your mind, you're feeding your limits. Let that sink in. When you choose not to learn, you choose to stay the same. And when you stay the same in a world that is changing, you fall behind. Quietly, slowly, but surely. Your dreams start to fade. Your potential begins to shrink. Your confidence starts to weaken. Not because you're not smart, not because you're not talented, but because you're not growing. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you don't use your muscles, they become weak. They lose strength. But if you exercise them, they grow. They become stronger, faster, and more powerful. The mind works the same way. If you don't challenge it, if you don't stretch it, feed it, test it, it gets lazy. It becomes slow and dull. But when you use it every day, when you give it new ideas, when you ask it hard questions, when you expose it to new information, it wakes up. It gets sharper. It starts working for you. This is why you see so many people who've had the same job for 10 years, but haven't grown in that time. Their position hasn't changed. Their income hasn't increased. Their knowledge hasn't expanded. They think they are working hard, and maybe they are. But hard work without learning is like running on a treadmill. You sweat. You get tired. but you stay in the same place. No movement, no progress. And here's the hardest part to accept. Many people are not failing because of lack of effort. They are failing because they stopped learning. Somewhere along the way, they believed that they had learned enough. Maybe they thought they were too busy. Maybe they thought they were too old. Maybe they thought they were not smart enough to learn more. But those beliefs are not true. They are excuses. And those excuses are expensive because they cost you your growth, your goals, and your future. The world doesn't wait for anyone. It moves forward, with or without you. You can either grow with it or you can fall behind. The choice is yours, and it starts with one simple decision. Never stop learning. So if you feel stuck right now, ask yourself, when was the last time you fed your mind? When was the last time you challenged your thinking? When was the last time you read something that made you see life differently? You don't need to change your whole life overnight, but you do need to start growing again. You need to wake up your mind. Start with 10 minutes of reading. Watch a video that teaches something useful. Listen to an audiobook during your commute. Take notes. Think deeply. Stay curious, because the people who win in life are not always the strongest, not always the luckiest, not always the fastest. They are the ones who keep learning. They are the ones who keep growing. And that, more than anything else, is why they stay ahead. Chapter 2. The Secret of High Achievers. Now let's talk about the top 1%. These are the people you admire, the ones who seem to win in everything they do. They're the ones who rise to the top of their industries, who stay calm under pressure, who keep moving forward when others quit. They often seem unstoppable. You might wonder, what's their secret? Are they just more talented? Were they born lucky? Did they have some advantage that you don't? The answer may surprise you. It's not just talent. It's not luck. It's not even hard work alone. Their secret is that they are always learning. They are not just working harder. They are learning smarter. If you study successful people closely, you'll see a common pattern. Behind every great leader, entrepreneur, athlete, or artist is a powerful daily habit, the habit of growth. They never stop learning. They feed their minds the same way athletes train their bodies. Learning is not something they do once in a while. It is something they do every single day. It becomes part of who they are. Their learning routine might be simple. It could be reading for 30 minutes before bed. It could be listening to audiobooks during a commute. It could be watching educational videos instead of watching TV. It could be taking online courses or attending workshops on the weekends. Some learn new languages, others study psychology, finance, or leadership. The topic may vary, but the habit stays the same. Learn something new every day. High achievers understand something most people forget. Every new skill adds value to their life. Every new idea stretches their mind. Every new book gives them a better way to think, act, or solve problems. They don't rely on what they learned in school. In fact, many of them believe that real learning begins after school ends. They know that growth doesn't stop with graduation. It only starts there. Look at Elon Musk. He taught himself rocket science by reading books most people would never touch. He didn't go to school for it, but he became the founder of a space company. Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, reads 5 to 6 hours every day. He once said that knowledge builds up like compound interest. Little by little, it becomes a powerful advantage. Bill Gates, another billionaire, reads 50 books a year. Oprah Winfrey has said many times that books were her escape, her strength, and her guide. She credits reading for her rise from poverty to global success. These people did not wait for life to teach them. They went out, taught themselves. Now, here's the big question. What are you doing with your time? You have the same 24 hours in your day as these people. Yes, they may be busy, but so are you. The difference is how that time is used. Most people spend their free time watching TV, checking social media, or doing tasks that do not help them grow. High achievers choose to use their free time for education, improvement, and preparation. That's what makes the difference. Not their situation, but their habits. You don't need to read 5 hours a day to succeed. Even just 20 to 30 minutes of learning each day can change your life over time. Think of that time as an investment in your future self. Every day you are either moving toward your goals or away from them. When you educate yourself daily, you are building a bridge between who you are now and who you could become. Let's say you decide to spend 30 minutes a day learning something useful. In 1 week, that's 3.5 hours. In 1 month, that's 15 hours. In a year, that's 180 hours. That's enough time to learn a new skill, master a subject, or start a small business. Think of where you could be 1 year from now if you simply chose to learn every day. Not just once, not when it's easy, but every day. The truth is, success is not about big moves. It's about small actions repeated over time. It's about planting seeds of growth every day and allowing them to bloom. The top 1% are not superhuman. They just made a decision to learn more, to grow more, to become more. And you can make that same decision starting today. So ask yourself this: what will I learn today that brings me closer to the person I want to be? If you can answer that question every day, you're on your way to joining the 1%. Chapter 3. The Power of 1 Hour a Day. Let's take a moment to do some simple but powerful math. What if you spent just 1 hour a day learning something new? Reading a book, watching an educational video, listening to an audiobook, or studying a new skill. 1 hour may not sound like much, but over time, it adds up in ways that can completely change your life. 1 hour a day equals 7 hours a week. That's 30 hours a month. That's 365 hours a year. Now think about that. That's like taking 9 full-time college-level courses in 1 year, without paying for tuition, without sitting in a classroom, and without even leaving your house. What would happen if you chose one topic, just one, and studied it for an hour a day for an entire year? Let's say you chose to study money. You could read books about personal finance, investing, saving, budgeting, or building wealth. You could listen to podcasts from experts, watch free videos, or take online courses. After a year, you would know more about managing money than most people will learn in their entire lifetime. You would be ahead of 99% of people financially, not because you're lucky, but because you made a simple, smart, and consistent choice. What if you spent that hour a day learning about health and fitness? You could study how the human body works, how food affects your energy, how to build muscle, lose fat, or improve your sleep. You'd understand how to take care of yourself from the inside out. You'd have the tools to live a stronger, longer, and healthier life. 1 hour a day could lead you to the best shape of your life. Not through quick fixes or crash diets, but through true, lasting knowledge. Or maybe you choose to learn about emotional intelligence, communication, or leadership. These are the skills that make people great at relationships, powerful in business, and confident in life. If you learn how to understand yourself and others better, how to speak clearly, listen deeply, lead with empathy, and build strong relationships, you will rise quickly in any career or community. In a world full of poor communication, your ability to lead and connect will set you apart. Now let's pause here. Some people might say, "I don't have an hour a day, my life is too busy." But that's not entirely true. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. What matters is how you use that time. You might not have a full hour all at once, but you can break it up. Maybe you spend 20 minutes in the morning reading, 20 minutes listening to an audiobook on your commute, and 20 minutes watching an educational video before bed. Or maybe you start with just 10 minutes a day, because starting small is still better than not starting at all. You don't need 5 hours a day. You don't need a fancy schedule or perfect conditions. You just need consistency. That's the real secret. When you show up every day, even in small ways, you build something powerful. You train your brain to grow. You prove to yourself that learning is a part of who you are. And over time, the small habit becomes a big advantage. Think about it like this. If you planted a seed and watered it for just a few minutes each day, it would grow into a tree. Not overnight, but over time. The same is true with knowledge. Each hour is like a drop of water. Each lesson is like sunlight. Each moment of effort is like rich soil. Your job is to keep planting and watering, and trust that something amazing is growing beneath the surface. This kind of learning doesn't require money. Many of the best resources in the world are free or very cheap. Public libraries, YouTube, free online courses, podcasts, blogs, and apps all offer incredible value. All you need is the desire to grow and the discipline to do it daily. But here's the most important part. Make it non-negotiable. That means you don't ask yourself, do I feel like learning today? You just do it, like brushing your teeth, like eating lunch. It becomes part of your routine, something you do no matter what. Because you understand that 1 hour a day is not just about learning facts. It's about building your future. It's about preparing your mind for success. It's about separating yourself from the crowd. The truth is, the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't a lack of talent. It's not even luck. It's usually a lack of consistent learning. 1 hour a day can change that. It can transform your mind, your habits, your confidence, and your life. So the next time you wonder what you can do to get ahead, remember this. You are just 1 hour a day away from a completely different life. Chapter 4. What to learn. The Pillars of Power. By now you may be wondering, what exactly should I learn? That's a very good question. There are millions of things you can learn, but you don't have time to learn everything. So it's important to focus your time and energy on what truly matters. The best things to learn are the ones that make you stronger, smarter, more valuable, and more in control of your life. In other words, learn what builds you. If you want to stay ahead of 99% of people, there are 4 powerful areas, 4 pillars, that you should focus on. These are the foundations of success, freedom, and confidence. Let's explore each of them one by one. 1. Learn about yourself. The first and most important thing you must learn is yourself. You may think you know who you are, but do you really understand how your mind works? Why you make the choices you make? Why you repeat certain habits or react emotionally to certain situations? Self-awareness is the foundation of success. If you don't understand yourself, it's hard to grow, it's hard to change, it's hard to improve. Start learning how your thoughts affect your behavior. Why do you procrastinate? Why do you get angry? What triggers your anxiety? What motivates you? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Read about psychology. Study mindset. Explore emotional patterns. Try journaling your thoughts and feelings. Pay attention to your daily habits. The more you know about your mind, the more power you have to control it. And when you can control your mind, you can control your actions, and that changes your entire life. Self-education in this area builds emotional intelligence, mental strength, and personal responsibility. It gives you the ability to respond to life instead of simply reacting to it. 2. Learn about money. End. The second pillar is money. Money controls much of the modern world. It decides where you live, what you eat, what kind of healthcare you receive, and how free you are with your time. Yet most people never truly understand how money works. They work hard, but they still live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they were never taught to manage or multiply money. They were only taught to earn it. Start learning about personal finance. Understand how to save, how to invest, how to budget, and how to avoid debt. Study how money flows through the economy. Learn how to build wealth slowly and safely. Watch videos. Read books by people who have succeeded with money. Understand the difference between assets and liabilities, between short-term pleasure and long-term growth. When you understand money, you stop being a slave to it, and you start becoming its master. This kind of education gives you freedom. It opens the door to better opportunities. It helps you protect your family and build a future you can be proud of. 3. Learn skills. The third pillar is skills. Skills are what make you valuable in the real world. A skill is something you can do that solves a problem, creates value, or helps someone else. And here's the good news. Skills are learnable. You are not born with them. You develop them through practice and effort. In today's world, the right skill can change your life completely. Skills can create opportunities, increase your income, and give you freedom. Start by learning high-demand skills. These are skills that are useful across many jobs and industries. For example, communication is a skill. So is writing, public speaking, sales, graphic design, video editing, digital marketing, coding, and leadership. You don't need to learn everything. Just choose one or two that interest you and get good at them. You can learn these skills for free online, or you can take a course. Practice every day. Build a portfolio. Become so good that people need what you offer. In a changing world, skills are the one thing that will never go out of style. Skills pay the bills, and they also pay for freedom. 4. Learn about people. Finally, the fourth pillar is people. No matter what your goals are, you need to know how to deal with others. Life is about relationships. Whether it's family, friends, work, or business, your success often depends on how well you can connect, understand, and influence others. That's why learning about people is so important. Study human behavior. Learn how people think and feel. Understand body language. Study communication, negotiation, and empathy. Learn how to listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. When you understand people, you become better at teamwork, leadership, parenting, friendship, and even conflict resolution. You can inspire others. You can sell ideas. You can build trust. These are not soft skills. These are power skills. They help you in every part of life. Chapter 5. Remove these mental blocks. Now let's talk about the real reason most people don't grow, improve, or learn. It's not because they don't have books. It's not because they don't have access to the internet or courses. And it's not because they're not smart enough. The real reason is hidden, silent, invisible. It's mental blocks. These are beliefs that live inside your mind and hold you back from becoming who you are meant to be. They are like invisible walls, strong enough to stop you, even though they only exist in your thoughts. If you want to educate yourself and stay ahead of 99% of people, you must learn to recognize these mental blocks and break them one by one. Let's start with one of the most common lies people tell themselves. I don't have time. This excuse is so common that people say it without even thinking. But here's the truth. You do have time. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. What you don't have is the right priorities. Look closely at your day. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media? Watching TV? Chatting about things that don't really matter? If you replaced just 30 minutes a day of scrolling with reading, learning, or listening to something educational, you would gain 180 plus hours of learning each year. That's enough to master a new skill, build a side hustle, or become an expert in a topic. The problem isn't time, it's how we use our time. And when learning becomes a priority, you make time for it. The next common excuse is, I'm too old to learn. Many people believe that learning is only for young people. They think, I should have started earlier, or it's too late for me now. But that's completely false. People in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even in their 70s, have reinvented themselves. They've started new careers, learned new languages, built businesses, written books, and changed their lives. Age is not the enemy. Attitude is. As long as you are alive, you have the ability to learn. Your brain is not a finished product. It's flexible. It can grow, adapt, and rewire itself at any age. Don't let your age be an excuse. Let it be your reason. After all, the best time to start learning was yesterday. The second best time is today. Another dangerous belief is, I'm not smart enough. This belief quietly destroys confidence. But here's what most people don't realize. Intelligence is not fixed. It's not something you are born with and stuck with. Your brain is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. If you train your brain by reading, thinking, solving problems, asking questions, and exploring new ideas, it becomes faster, sharper, and more creative. You become smarter through action. The only way to stay not smart is to stop trying. Even the most brilliant people started as beginners. They made mistakes, asked questions, and struggled at first. The difference is, they didn't quit. So don't limit yourself. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You have the power to learn and grow if you believe it and work for it. Now let's talk about one more common block. It's too hard. Yes, learning something new can feel hard. Yes, building habits, changing your mindset, or studying a difficult topic can feel uncomfortable. But here's something you may not have thought about. Staying stuck is also hard. Living a life where you feel powerless is hard. Working a job you hate is hard. Living with regret is hard. So the truth is, you must choose your hard. One hard leads to growth, confidence, and freedom. The other hard leads to frustration, sadness, and missed opportunities. Growth is not always easy, but it is always worth it. All of these mental blocks, I don't have time, I'm too old, I'm not smart, it's too hard, are lies. They are not facts. You don't have to believe them. You don't have to accept them. You can break these chains. You can step over those invisible walls. You can begin again no matter where you are or what your past looks like. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. It will never come. Stop doubting yourself. You are stronger than you think. Pick up the book. Watch the lesson. Join the class. Take the first small step. Begin where you are. Use what you have. Learn a little every day and keep going. Because once you remove the blocks from your mind, there will be nothing left to stop you. You'll realize that the only thing that ever stood in your way was your own belief. And now that belief is gone. Chapter 6. Make learning a lifestyle. Don't think of learning as something you have to do, like a chore or an obligation. Instead, think of learning as something you get to do, something that gives you power, something that makes you better, stronger, smarter, and more confident with every passing day. Learning should not feel like a burden. It should feel like a gift, a personal key to unlocking your full potential. Once you make this shift in your mindset, learning no longer feels heavy. It becomes exciting. It becomes part of your identity. And that's when the real transformation begins. To make learning a true lifestyle, you need to build an environment that supports your growth. Just like an athlete needs the right training ground, you need a space, both physical and mental, that encourages learning. Start by carrying a book with you wherever you go. When you're waiting in line, riding the bus, or taking a break, read a few pages. Little moments add up. Fill your phone with audiobooks, podcasts, and online courses instead of just entertainment. Use apps that teach you things. That way, even your downtime becomes learning time. Now think about your digital space. What do you see when you scroll on social media? Is it helping you grow or distracting you? You can turn your phone into a classroom. Follow creators who teach and inspire. Unfollow people who fill your feed with noise or negativity. Subscribe to channels that educate you. Watch videos that open your mind. The truth is, social media isn't the problem. The problem is how we use it, so take control of your feed. Make it work for you, not against you. Another great way to grow is by keeping a journal of what you learn. Write down ideas, quotes, lessons, and thoughts you come across each day. It doesn't need to be long. Just a few sentences will do. When you write things down, you remember them better. You start to see patterns. You see how much you've grown. Over time, this journal becomes a personal treasure, a record of your journey. And whenever you feel stuck, you can look back and realize how far you've come. It's also important to track your progress. Growth is not always easy to see day by day, but when you track your learning, you start to notice the little wins. Maybe you finished a book, learned a new word, practiced a new skill, watched an inspiring video, wrote a thoughtful journal entry. All of these things count. Celebrate them. Reward yourself. Recognize your effort. Because when you celebrate growth, you repeat it. You build positive momentum. And don't forget to make learning fun. Find topics that excite you. Mix things up. Watch a documentary one day, read a blog the next, then listen to a podcast while walking. Learn with friends. Join online communities. Share what you learn with others. The more enjoyable the process, the more likely you are to stick with it. Remember, learning is not just about serious textbooks or difficult subjects. It's also about curiosity, passion, discovery, and joy. Eventually, you want to reach a place where learning becomes part of who you are. Not something you do once in a while, but something you live every day. You become the kind of person who says, "I learn something new every day." You become the kind of person who grows on purpose, not by accident. That's a powerful identity, because once you believe you are a learner, you naturally act like one. You seek answers, you ask better questions, you stay curious, you improve without being told to. This mindset will take you further than any degree. Why? Because a degree is something you earn once, but a learning lifestyle is something you carry forever. It doesn't end with graduation. It doesn't stop at age 30 or 50. It continues every day you're alive. And the people who keep learning are the ones who keep growing, adapting, and thriving, no matter what the world throws at them. So don't wait for a classroom. Don't wait for permission. Make your life the classroom. Make your daily experience your teacher. Let every moment be an opportunity to understand something new. And soon, learning won't feel like a task. It will feel like a habit, a pleasure, a way of life. Because when you turn learning into a lifestyle, you don't just change what you know, you change who you become. Chapter 7. Education is freedom. Education is not just about gathering facts or passing exams. It's not just about getting good grades or receiving a certificate. Education is about freedom. True freedom. The kind of freedom that lets you choose your future, protect your family, improve your situation, and walk through life with confidence. When you commit to educating yourself, not just once, but every day, you begin to build a life that is based on strength, not fear. On clarity, not confusion. On power, not weakness. You see, the more you learn, the less you fear. Most fears are born from not understanding. Think about it. Why are people afraid of money? Because they don't understand how it works. Why are people scared of the future? Because they haven't prepared for it. Why do people fear change? Because they don't know what to expect or how to handle it. Ignorance creates fear, but knowledge creates options. And when you have options, you have freedom. When you educate yourself, you gain something priceless, control over your own life. You don't need to wait for someone to save you. You don't need to depend on luck. You don't need to be at the mercy of other people's decisions. You become your own rescue plan. You become your own investment. Education puts the power back in your hands. Let's look at this in real life. A person who studies personal finance no longer fears bills or budgets. They know how to manage their money, how to grow it, and how to make wise choices. A person who studies communication and leadership no longer feels stuck in their career. They speak up with confidence. They earn trust. They grow in influence. A person who studies health understands how to take care of their body. They no longer feel helpless at the doctor's office. They make strong, informed choices. This is what education gives you, not just facts, but freedom. And the best part? You don't need anyone's permission to start. You don't have to wait for a classroom, a teacher, or a degree. The information is out there. Books, audiobooks, online courses, podcasts, videos, articles, and mentors. And most of it is free or affordable. Self-education is available to anyone who's hungry enough to go after it. And when you choose to learn, you're choosing to live differently. You may be thinking, but I'm just one person. Can I really change my life through learning? Yes, you can. Many people already have. History is full of people who use self-education to escape poverty, build businesses, inspire others, and create freedom. They didn't wait for life to improve. They picked up a book. They asked questions. They studied. They applied what they learned. And step by step, their world changed. Self-education gives you something else that's deeply powerful: clarity. In a noisy world full of distractions, confusion, and fear, knowledge clears the fog. You start to see things differently. You understand how things work. You stop believing every lie. You stop depending on opinions. You begin to think for yourself. You become strong from the inside out. This clarity leads to confidence, and confidence leads to bold action. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for your dreams. You start building a life that reflects your values, your goals, and your potential. This is why education is so powerful. It changes not just what you know, but who you are. When you learn something new, you are shaping your identity. You are creating a version of yourself that is wiser, braver, and more prepared. You are becoming the kind of person who doesn't run from challenges, but faces them with strength. The kind of person who doesn't complain about life, but designs it. So if you feel lost or stuck or unsure of the future, remember this: you are not powerless. You have the ability to learn. And learning is the first step to freedom. Every page you read, every lesson you study, every idea you understand is one more brick in the foundation of your new life. Don't underestimate what 1 year of learning can do. Don't underestimate what you can do. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be committed to growing, to learning, and to becoming the best version of yourself. Because in the end, education is not about information. It's about transformation. And when you choose to educate yourself every day, you are not just collecting knowledge. You are building a future that most people will never reach, simply because they chose to stay in the dark. But you are different. You are awake. You are aware. You are learning. And that means you are free. Chapter 8. Final thoughts. Your future starts now. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to move quickly or impress anyone. All you need to do is start. Right here, right now. This very moment is the beginning of your next chapter. The moment you decide that learning is not just something you did in the past, but something you do every single day moving forward. Start small, start simple. Maybe it's just one page of a book, one short video that teaches you something new, one podcast that expands your mind, one question you search for an answer to. Don't worry about becoming a master overnight. That's not how champions are built. Champions are created quietly, consistently, and often privately. Day by day, step by step, bit by bit. No rush, no pressure, just steady, focused growth. The truth is, you don't need applause. You don't need followers or fame or a spotlight. What you need is action. Real action. And the best kind of action is the kind that becomes a habit. If you learn just a little every day, 1% better, 1% wiser, you'll be amazed at where you are in 6 months. In 1 year, in 5 years, the future version of you will either look back with gratitude, thankful that you started today, or with regret, wishing you had. Every day you choose to learn, you are planting seeds. Seeds of strength, seeds of freedom, seeds of wisdom, and those seeds will grow into a powerful tree, one that can weather the storms of life, provide shade for others, and stand tall for years to come. But none of that happens if you delay. None of that grows if you wait for the perfect moment. So don't wait. The perfect time is now. The best investment you will ever make is not in gold or stocks or even a house. The best investment is you, your growth, your mindset, your knowledge. Because everything in life flows from that. When your mind grows, your life grows. When your thinking improves, your actions improve. When your understanding deepens, your decisions become clearer. And when your decisions get better, your results follow. Learning is not just about collecting knowledge. It's about creating momentum. Every lesson you learn gives you one more tool to build the life you want. One more insight that helps you understand people better. One more strategy to make your time more valuable. One more reason to believe in yourself. That's the power of daily education. It changes who you are. One moment at a time. Remember this, you don't have to be better than everyone else. That's not the goal. The real goal is to be better than you were yesterday. And the way to do that is through growth, through learning, through curiosity and effort and consistency. Most people will choose comfort. Most people will choose distraction. Most people will do what's easy, not what's right. But you are not most people. You are someone who chooses to rise, who chooses to grow, who chooses to explore the unknown and face the uncomfortable. You are someone who refuses to stay stuck. Someone who understands that education is not something you finish, it's something you live. And this choice you're making, to learn something every day, is what sets you apart. It's not because you are better, it's because you are more intentional. While others drift through life, you are designing yours. While others complain about their situation, you are learning how to change yours. While others make excuses, you are taking action. That's what makes all the difference. So keep going, keep learning, keep asking questions, keep searching for better answers. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to keep moving forward. Stay curious, stay humble, stay committed. Because growth is not a race, it's a lifelong journey. And remember, the world will not always cheer you on. Some people won't understand your hunger to grow. That's okay. You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you, for the future you, for the people you love, for the life you know is possible. Thank you for listening to English Achieve. If this audiobook inspired you, don't stop here. Keep learning, keep growing. Keep building the habits that will take you places you've never imagined. Because every day you choose education, you are choosing to take back control of your life. And always remember, knowledge is power, but only when you use it. So go out and use it. Your future starts now.